Megan.
All right, Sarah, thank you. Well, we are less than 2 months until the end of the year, which means if you have a flexible spending account to help pay for your healthcare needs, you should plan to use those funds before January. We are joined now live by Jen Burke from the Maine Credit Union League. Jen, I love having you here in studio. It's so nice to see you in person.
It's great to be here.
And this is kind of a good topic to talk about because it's sort of like free money in a way, right? A flexible spending account. A lot of employers offer these to employees. Tell us kind of what it is and the dates.
Yeah, it's a great way to help pay for those medical expenses that your insurance doesn't cover. And it's pre-tax dollars that employees set aside each paycheck. And you can go and essentially use those dollars throughout the year to pay for your co-pays, to pay for contacts. I used it to use glasses once. So it's a great advantage from a tax perspective because if those are costs you're paying for anyways, why not take advantage of that on a pre-tax basis? But those flexible spending accounts have what they call use it or lose it provisions, which means if you tuck that money aside and you don't spend it before December 31st, you lose that money. Now, the IRS has done some flexibilities on flex spending accounts during COVID, and so you can talk to your employer to see if you can roll over some of those funds into next year. Let's say you've got $500 or $600 left, but you have to talk to your employer. Not all employers are letting you roll over money. So if you have money to spend, you want to spend it before the end of this year.
It's hard to believe you have to give that advice.
You know,
spend your money.
Well, you know, because the money comes out pre-tax, it automatically comes out of your paycheck. Sometimes people just forget about it and they don't take advantage of it, but you're not going to get it back.
Yeah, so then where does it go?
So if you have funds that are left over, they go back to your employer. So the employer can use those monies to pay down premium costs or just the administrative burden of running a flexible spending account. But you would rather your own money go back to you than your employer.
Yes, absolutely. And some people have health savings accounts. So do the same year-end use it or lose it rules apply?
No, and that's where a lot of confusion is. If you have a health savings account, you own that account. So if you don't use it by the end of the year, the money rolls over. It's pre-tax, so that's where there's a lot of confusion. But a health savings account is not use it or lose it. The benefit of a health savings account too, if you leave your job, you take that money with you. You can't do that with a flexible spending account.
Right. So if this is not something you currently have, if somebody's watching at home and they don't have an FSA or an HSA account, when's a good time to consider one?
Right now, you know, before I came here today, we had an all-staff meeting to talk about open enrollment and to talk about health savings accounts. A lot of employers are going through open enrollment right now. You want to ask your employer, if you don't already know, do you offer a flexible spending account or a health savings account? If so, how can I enroll? And then you want to look at your financial picture and figure out how much money you can put aside. You cannot have both though. You can't have an FSA or an HSA. So find out, do your homework now. Now is the time.
Yeah, and one thing before we say goodbye, I wanted to point out, and maybe you can kind of correct me if I'm wrong, but some employers, it doesn't roll over, so you have to re-enroll in it.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yes, so I know we have a health savings account at our work. I have to re-enroll in that to make sure those contributions are going to continue into 2023.
All right, Jen, thank you so much. As always, so good to have you in the studio.
So great to be here. Thank you.
Jen, thank you. We'll see you again next week.